What's going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today I want to talk to you about NIO. I want to go over some of the data points, break it down on what just came out associated to NIO itself, and then aside from that, what shorts are doing. Before we get into any of that, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So NIO pre-market is up 3.79%, so some pretty good momentum going on. No official news from NIO, so last news came out on March the 1st, February numbers, and then aside from that, today there was a 6K that was submitted, but ultimately it just shows right here the delivery numbers. So very formal stuff, nothing crazy to buy NIO or sell because of this 6K. So it's just again, just more like a formality. But one thing that did come out that's causing this nice bump up is this right here. So Uxin, if I'm saying that right, secures 27.9 million investment from NIO Capital. So Uxin is right here, China's leading used car retailer. So definitely very interesting move coming from NIO, and most likely, in my opinion, that 27.9 million, that's just the savings from when they did buy back that convertible note. So that was not announced like a month ago, month and a half. And so by doing that, they saved a ton of money on future dilution. I think it was estimated like an article like 60 million. So they could be taking those proceeds or maybe not necessarily proceeds, but those savings and doing this type of deal. Although from what I've seen, a lot of articles are bringing this up, but it doesn't actually break it down on how that 27.9 million is coming from, if it's from cash, if it's from a stock, like a stock transaction. It doesn't really state anything. Although if it was stock related, I'm sure they would have put out a 6K to kind of match that as well. So most likely it is just coming from straight cash. But let me know your general thoughts. Do you think that this is good news, bad news? What's your general thoughts on all of that? A couple articles are just bringing up how Uxin is very much struggling right now. So maybe this might not necessarily be the best thing for NIO, but there has to be some bigger plan for this. So what's your viewpoint on that? Shorts, though, are calling them out, so they don't see this bump up in the stock price being justified. So pre-market, they are increasing 3.47 million shares. 14.55% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 194.27 million shares overall are being shorted. Definitely a lot of volume getting into NIO today. So under my other YouTube channel, I do a pre-market video where I go over a lot of the most heavily traded stocks pre-market, and NIO was one of them. So a lot of money is getting in. So maybe there is more to it that I don't know. So if anyone is familiar with it, is it more for, let's see, the Firefly down the line, or is this for maybe Onvo? They're just going to use it as a primary selling feature. I don't know. There's a lot of options that could come, but let me know your general thoughts on that. Looking at yesterday's options, it is kind of interesting though. So basically between, looks like 250 and 255, so when the market was closing, there was 1.5 million in total premiums. So it's as though that someone maybe knew that this information might have been coming out. So it's something to keep in mind. But of the call options that were purchased yesterday, you see a consensus for it to be roughly around that $5 range, and then the bears are anticipating for it to be sub roughly 350. So a little bit more downside anticipated, but I think given the market momentum right now and what just came out associated to NIO, I think that there will be more of a further push higher. But some key levels to watch for with at 437 trading between this pivot and this S1. So 418 will be a strong support, and then flip side 460 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. I'm looking at the 1-day chart on a side note as well, but yeah, essentially just take note of those. In my opinion, I don't think it's going to touch this pivot point today of 460, rather just kind of stick in limbo right here. As of right now, though, it is above that 50-day moving average. So it's going to have another little bit of a battle there. So essentially, that's kind of a good thing. 50-day moving average in NIO's case is a very key pivot. So right now it is slightly above that. So 50-day moving average is $4.36. So this light green line right here. Super trend though is still good. So that does mean that algorithmic trading is really helping NIO a little bit behind the scenes. Stochastic RSI, because of the recent volatility, has caused it to go from overbought to somewhat neutral slash a little bit oversold. So it is at 36 right now. So again, something to keep in mind. So going forward into today, a couple of key points to watch for, at least in the short term, is for it to stay above that 436. 442 is also that ALMA, so that one is also going to be a key resistance that you'll want to watch for it to get above early on in the trading day. So let me know your general thoughts on NIO. Do you think that we're going to see higher highs? Do you think we're going to see a pullback because of, let's say, shorts already doubling down? Or do you think that they're just going to return once the market opens, causing it to really push higher? A couple of big things coming out potentially today. So Trump might roll back the tariffs associated to Mexico and Canada. So market's going to see that as relatively optimistic. Unfortunately, no rollbacks for China, so they still did get hit with that 20% tariff. So that's not the best, but again, I think that it is what it is. Market kind of knew that. So it's already been priced in. So what is your general thoughts? What's your viewpoint on this news? And let me know your what you plan on doing with NIO today. With that said, appreciate all of you watching. Pop over to my Discord on the side note. It is completely free. Link in the description below and also the comments. With that, appreciate all you watching.